Shabbat Shalom. Today we have a very unconventional Shabbat. Because we will have a gathering of the congregation today, meeting. And it's something we didn't do since in the midst of COVID. And when we have been in the midst of COVID, it was online. And today at 3 p.m. we gather with those who feel connected with the congregation. So this is a reminder now, but if you have received an invitation previously, I hope you feel invited. And if you didn't get an invitation, but feel like you should have gotten one, you can come to me and we can talk about it. Agreed? Check your phones or other social media. And I repeat myself, if you have gotten an invitation, then heartily welcome. If you didn't get an invitation, come to me and we talk about it. We had a membership in the congregation. Then we didn't have anything. Then we had a list of all those who help. And that list was valid for 1 year, and then after 1 year it would be re-evaluated. But during COVID, it all changed. Some of those I have not personally seen for years. Maybe you see us online right now. But I did not see you, even though I wanted. It would be pleasant to see you. Specifically now, where we can shake each other's hand again, where we can give hugs each other again. Come. We talked about it already. Many sat on their sofas and couches and stayed there. I already delivered a sermon that you have to get up and come here. If it's difficult for you to come here, then talk to us. Then we help and organize something. Don't just stay at home. If I'm asked today, who is with you at the congregation? How many? And I don't really have an answer to that as of right now. I cannot even answer it like it is done in the Near East, like about some number. So if someone is asked, how old are you? Then it's said, about that age. But I cannot say this right now. Do you remember when Yeshua started to minister? How old was he? Some say 30. But that's not how it was written. It is written about 30. But how many years exactly? How, how many exactly? This, not even like that I can answer about the members of the congregation. So we will gather in the afternoon and we will talk about these matters. And in general, for what do you need a congregation? I would like to talk about that today. There will be nothing new. I even will use our congregation agreement for that. Everyone can look inside this, can look into this. It's not an encyclopedia. It's also not a Talmud with 10 different issues. It is 10 pages. It's 11 pages in German. In German, there's 1 page more. For the Germans, we added something. That is a joke. In German, there are more characters, all the articles. But in essence, it's the same. Everyone can take this document and can read it and can get to know it. But before I get to that, tell me, for what do we have a congregation? For what do we need other people? You can be with the Lord, and believe me, sometimes you just want to be with the Lord, just with Him, and no one else. How many of you wish that just you and the Lord are together? How many of you? Not too much of you. Today I at least wanted it 10 times. I didn't make a statistic about that, but again and again I wanted that it's me and Him and no one else. But the Lord did not create us like that. The human is made for relationship. Human is made for not being alone. In essence, when God created the first human, He created him as man and woman. He put them in a garden, and He told them, take care of the garden. You remember this? He said it's not good for man to be alone. That's why He created woman, man and woman. I don't know how they lived. I don't know if it was pleasant for them. But as the Lord created them, He said it is good. And that's it? No. He He gave them specific commandments. And the commandments were not just don't eat from this fruit of the tree. It also was not just take care of the garden. It also wasn't just multiply yourselves. It also has been said, multiply yourselves and fill the earth. Man and woman as one flesh. They were not enough alone. Creation doesn't stop with just that. The will of the Lord was much greater than that and more wide. Man has been made to be in a relationship with each other, to be in communion. That's how the first communities were created. And these communities were strengthened. They could fall, they could rise, they could. When Noah went into the ark, Noah was declared righteous in his generation, or other in his family, who knows? But into the ark, they all went together. They all went together as one, and the animals they took with them in pairs. Even unclean animals they took in pairs. Why? So that life doesn't stop. So that the community of man can grow. Animals have been created so that they can always be in pairs or in herds. Humans even more. When the Lord created the people of Israel, oftentimes he spoke of the community. The community of Israel. He named the people of Israel. He used different words for that. Goy, Kacham, Gedai. He used different words, which in essence meant community. The together congregated. When Israel left Egypt and went to the direction of the Holy Land, not every Jew went like he wanted. They went together. Together they were successful. It is written, when the cloud rose up, then the people rose. When the cloud came down, then the people stayed and rested. Not everyone how they wanted, but together. The people of Israel were created as a community. In this community, there were tribes. And what you can translate to Mishpachot, that is family. But not just men woman and the children, but the whole clan. But that's also how the tribes, the general tribes, could have been named. In modern Hebrew, Mishpacha means family. What we can read about the people of Israel in the Bible implicits very close family relationships. Man has been made to be in a community, in a congregation. And the Jews were created for that. Man has not been created to be by himself. But why do we want to be alone sometimes? Because man is angering us. We get upset with each other and we come into each other's ways. Think about that. They come in our ways. Different people come into our ways in different ways. And now something interesting. For that reason, we need community. So that we can grow. So that we can grow in love. So that we can grow in the godly characteristics. So that we can more and more complete ourselves. When the Lord created the community of believers, we see about the same as with Israel. We see an even more close relationship. He said, we are one body. We are the body of Messiah. We even are more connected to each other. And we are saved as one body. And not each single one of us for himself. We are connected to each other and dependent on each other. For what do we need our congregation? For what do we need congregations at all? Because we have been made like that. Man has not been made to be alone. Family has not been created to be lonely. Even though you're doing well inside your family, then it is grace, loving kindness, and a blessing. But that is not all. You are a part of the community. And in this community we shall live as a community. when Israel put up their tents in the desert.
Glaubt ihr nicht, dass irgendjemand einem anderen vielleicht neidisch war, dass sein Zelt besser war?
Don't you believe that there was no one being jealous over the neighbor's tent?
Oder dass sich eine Person vielleicht nicht darüber aufgeregt hat oder wütend darüber war, dass ein anderes Zelt zu nah auf seinem
Or that
Grundstück stand?
there may have been a neighbor who was angry about the other person's tent, who was too close to his tent.
War einer beleidigt, weil sein Zelt nicht so nah an dem Allerheiligsten oder an der Bundeslade stand, wie ein anderes.
Or maybe someone was sad, angry, because his tent was not too close to the tabernacle. Maybe it was easier to stand up.
Glaubt ihr nicht, dass die auch solche Probleme hatten, wie wir heute?
Don't you think they had similar problems as we today, as we have today?
Auf diese Weise.
40 years
Zusammen.
we have been traveling through the desert like that, together.
Und genauso ist es auch mit der Gemeinde Jeschuas.
And like that, it is the same today with the body of Yeshua.
Steht geschrieben.
In the document, the goals of our congregation, it is written,
Hauptziele sind
our main goals are
Следование за Всевышним, возрастание и укрепление в Мессию Иешуа, вере в Мессию Иешуа посредством.
Ehre des Allerhöchsten und wachsen im Glauben an den Messias Jeschua durch.
bringing glory to the Most High and
И очень четко и ясно.
growth through the Messiah Yeshua.
Die Punkte, die genauestens aus der Bibel geschrieben sind.
And next are a few points which have been taken from the Bible directly.
Gegenseitige Ermutigung zur Liebe und zu guten Werken.
Молитвы друг за друга,
Gebet füreinander.
To
взаимопомощь,
motivate yourself in good deeds,
Gegenseitige Hilfe.
pray for each other,
Gegenseitiges Dienen.
общение друг с другом в братолюбии и
help
единстве,
and serving each other,
другу, искренности и откровенности друг с другом, в почтении и снисхождении друг к другу,
Gemeinschaft miteinander in brüderlicher Liebe und Eintracht.
being in community with each other, in brotherness and openness
Im Respekt und Nachsicht.
and in respect
прощение друг друга в
for each other,
мира друг с другом,
Gegenseitige Vergebung und Frieden miteinander.
forgiveness and peace with each other,
утешение при необходимости обличения друг друга,
Gegenseitiges Aufbauen, Lehren, Trösten und
building
notwendig
each other up
отделение от разврата и греховности
to,
окружающего нас мира.
to live with each other.
und von der Sündhaftigkeit der uns umgebenden Welt.
Вы видите, какие основные слова здесь встречаются?
Seht ihr, welche grundlegenden Worte hier immer wieder anzutreffen sind?
Do you see which essential words are written here? Each otherness.
Gegenseitiges,
Это то, что
And this
определяет общество.
each otherness,
das ist das, was eine Gemeinschaft bestimmt.
that is what makes a community.
Das ist das, was uns bestimmt.
То, для чего
This
мы
is
созданы Богом.
Das,
what defines us,
Не только для себя,
for what God created us,
вот для этого,
not just for ourselves,
sondern für dieses Gegenseitiges.
but for this each otherness.
еще раз.
Ich möchte diese Liste nochmals lesen.
Поощрение друг друга к любви и добрым делам.
I once again want to read this list.
Ermutigung zur Liebe und zu guten Werken.
Это когда мы говорим друг другу.
To
не
motivate
что-то
yourself, each other, to love and for good deeds.
Uns wieder hochhelfen.
помогать
It's like
делать добро.
saying things to each other that build ourselves up again, that you do,
Говорить друг другу хорошее.
that we motivate each other to do good deeds,
Это делать сам себе.
that we motivate each other to say good words.
So reden.
Ты можешь сесть где-то,
Obviously, you can also talk to yourself like that.
Alleine.
ты и Бог.
You can sit down alone, you and the Lord,
Und du kannst dir selbst Lob und Anerkennung geben, wie du alles richtig und gut machst.
and you can give yourself praise
Du kannst dann
and acknowledgement how well you do everything. Then you can tell the Lord,
schau mal, wie
look,
ich für dich getan
Look how good I am.
Siehst du, wie alles richtig
Look how many good things I do for you.
Ты видишь, какой я,
Look how intelligent I am.
Siehst du, wie freundlich ich bin?
ты видишь, какой я радый
Do you see how nice I am?
Siehst du, wie ich mich immer darüber freue, irgendjemandem zu helfen?
Представь себе.
Stell dir das mal vor.
You see how I'm always in joy of helping
Mehrheit von allen
one other person. Imagine this.
Потому что голоса, которые мы
I don't believe that the majority of you would not want to say this, because the voice inside of us
sind meistens genau das Gegenteil davon.
опять не дотянул,
does say the exact opposite of that.
опять не сделал.
In our minds,
Ich habe schon wieder nicht
it says, I didn't do this, I didn't do that,
wieder nicht geschafft.
I still didn't complete this, I still didn't achieve it, I again didn't have the wisdom, and again I didn't have patience.
Das ist eher das, was wir zu uns selbst sagen, wenn wir
That's more likely what goes through our minds when we are lonely,
einander.
when we are alone. And that's why we need each other.
Du hast es gut gemacht.
You did it well.
Слушай, ты действительно умный.
Hermann, du bist echt clever.
That's why we need each other, to say to each other, you are smart, you did that well, you can sing well, you are beautiful. To say, yes, that touched me today.
Antwort du auf diese Frage gegeben hast.
To say, wow, what a great answer you gave for that question. You helped this person, you are good.
Wir müssen einander ermutigen und einander unterstützen.
We need to
Dafür haben wir diese
build ourselves up and support ourselves. For that reason we have community, this congregation, the prayer for each other, the prayers for each other. Everyone prays for himself, right?
По поводу того, что самый любимый наш человек — это ты сам. То есть твой самый любимый человек — это ты.
Wir haben schon mehrmals darüber gesprochen, dass die allerliebste Person für dich du selbst bist.
A lot of times we have talked that the most lovely person to you is yourself. You will never have pity with someone as with yourselves. You will not be more in joy over someone as yourself.
Самый твой частый собеседник — это тоже ты.
Die Person, mit der du am meisten Gemeinschaft hast und dich unterhältst, bist du selbst.
The person whom you are in connection with, in communion with, most is yourself.
Die meiste Zeit mit dir selbst.
You spend most of your time with yourself. And for that reason you also pray a lot for yourself. But we need the prayer of other people. And also we need to pray for other people. And we need the prayers of other people.
Alles, was ich jetzt hier vorlese,
And for that reason all I'm reading here from this document,
alles, was in der Bibel geschrieben steht, wenn ihr die Stellen dazu braucht, gebe ich sie euch
У
gerne.
меня есть этот список.
it's all what's written in the Bible.
Этот список с местами.
It's all from the Bible. If you want,
Mit den Bibelstellen.
Ну, мы
if you want specific
друг за другом.
verses from the Bible, I will give them to you. We need prayer of other people, from each other.
Und sie brauchen genauso auch unsere Gebete.
And also they need our prayers.
Das ist ganz wichtig.
That is important.
Ohne Gebet wird nichts gelingen.
Without prayer, nothing can be established.
Gegenseitige Hilfe und gegenseitiges Dienen.
Helping each other and serving each other.
Как тяжело бывает попросить.
Wie schwer ist es manchmal, um Hilfe zu bitten.
How difficult it sometimes is to ask for help,
Wir denken, dass wir abgelehnt werden,
because we think we will be turned down,
weil wir so erzogen wurden, dass das irgendwie demütigend ist.
or we have been raised like
Oder weil man uns damit
it would be
Или потому что
negative.
я должен это сделать сам.
or because we have been asked too much,
В этом моя гордость.
Darin ist mein Stolz.
or we have been trained and you have to do everything yourself.
Переступаю через
And that in that is your pride. You have to step over that.
за помощью.
Wir bitten andere um Hilfe.
И мы
We ask people for help.
Wir helfen den anderen.
мы для этого созданы и помещены в обществе.
We help
Dafür sind wir
each
geschaffen
other.
worden und dafür sind wir in einer Gemeinschaft.
For that we have been created, and for that we are in a community,
Даже если
as our Messiah said.
Selbst wenn an einem Schabbat ein Esel in den Brunnen fällt.
Even when on Shabbat a donkey
ты не достанешь его,
donkey
Ist etwa nicht raus?
has fallen into a hole,
не помогай.
will you not pull it up?
Wirst du dem anderen nicht helfen?
Will you not help the other?
Ты в этом обществе.
Yes, you will,
Gemeinschaft bist.
because you are in that community.
Это благородно.
To help,
Wohl, eine Wohltat.
to help is
Das ist etwas Edles.
И
something
просить о помощи.
of value, of noble.
Anderen zu helfen,
To help is noble.
zu bitten,
Это почет.
ist etwas Edles.
To help other people and to ask for help is noble.
Wir müssen einander helfen
We need to help each other
und auch die Hilfe der anderen annehmen.
and also accept
Общение
the help
с другом в братолюбии
from
и
others.
единстве.
Gemeinschaft miteinander in brüderlicher Liebe und Eintracht.
Community with each other in brotherly loving kindness.
Это не просто.
Das ist nicht einfach.
This is not easy,
Это не просто. Мы разные.
Das ist absolut nicht einfach, weil wir so unterschiedlich sind.
Но что, когда это было
this is absolutely not easy because we are so different.
Wir wurden beleidigt.
нас и сейчас может быть
We are so differently from each other. We have been insulted,
Meine wehgetan.
and maybe even in this congregation.
прямее,
Some people are hurt
Jemand was gegen mich hat.
and
кто-то
are hurting each other. Maybe you have the feeling that someone has something against you,
связанный с кем-то здесь.
or someone
Aus
looks
der Vergangenheit diese Personen
looks at you in a specific way,
Братолюбие, единомыслие очень
or you have old wounds.
Liebe und diese Eintracht ist nicht einfach.
This brotherly loving kindness
так библейски.
and this togetherness is really important and biblically and correct.
Вниманием друг к другу.
In gegenseitiger Aufmerksamkeit.
Обращайте друг на
In attention to each other.
Ich habe schon mehrmals darüber gesprochen, dass wir aufmerksam gegenüber dem anderen sein sollten.
Many times I've spoken about attention to each other, that we are to be like that.
In Freude oder Trauer des anderen.
Don't stay indifferent when someone is sad or in joy.
друг с другом.
In Aufrichtigkeit und Offenheit.
In uprightness and openness.
Говорите друг с другом.
Sprecht miteinander.
Speak to each other.
У вас на сердце.
Sprecht das, was ihr auf dem Herzen habt.
Искренне и честно.
Speak what's on your heart,
Но в братолюбии
uprightly and open,
и единомыслие.
Aber in brüderlicher Liebe und Eintracht.
but in brotherly loving kindness
Aber sprecht
and closeness. But speak honestly with each other.
verbergt nichts und vertuscht nichts.
Don't hide anything and don't cover up anything.
Ihr seid nicht alleine hier.
Библия говорит, если
You are not alone here.
кто-то из нас страдает один,
Die Bibel sagt, wenn einer von uns leidet,
The Bible said,
dann leiden wir.
the Bible says, if anyone is suffering, then all other people are suffering as well, automatically.
Sprecht miteinander.
будьте искренни,
Speak with each other.
Seid aufrichtig und offen.
Be upright and open.
Schlimmer wird's nicht.
Я не говорю о том, что
It cannot get worse.
здесь все абсолютно рассказать.
Das bedeutet nicht, dass man jetzt zu jeder Person gehen soll und sein Herz ausschütten
So this does not mean that we are not to go each other now and pour out our hearts.
offen, wie es möglich ist.
Open your heart
Ihr solltet
to that point that is possible for you.
etwas verstecken,
You should not lie, you should not cover up anything. You should not hide anything.
Vielleicht mehr neugierig als andere.
Some may be more interested.
Besonders Neugierigen unter uns.
Не говорите,
And by the way, for the specifically interested among us,
Sowas wie, erzähl mir alles, damit ich besser für dich beten kann.
don't say anything like, tell me everything so I can pray better for you.
а просто хочешь
Und einfach nur ein bisschen
удовлетворить свое любопытство.
deine Neugier stillen möchtest.
If you don't really plan to pray, but just want to be interested,
Буду с этим молиться и сразу бежишь дальше, кому-то рассказать.
Sag auch nicht sowas, okay, das ist dir passiert, ich werde für dich beten und dann rennst du los und erzählst es jemand anderem.
don't say things like, yes, I will pray for you, but then you run away and tell someone else.
Все должно расти на этом доверии.
If you say you will pray, then pray.
Будьте максимально открыты.
And everything should be growing in this trust.
Почтение и снисхождение друг к другу.
Oh, be honest and open to a maximum to each other with respect and looking out for each other.
Ты всех здесь уважаешь.
Respektierst du alle hier Anwesenden?
Do you respect every single one
А как ты думаешь, тебя все уважают?
present here today?
Glaubst du, du wirst von allen respektiert?
Do you believe that you are respected
Хотелось бы.
from everyone here?
Man wünscht es sich.
Es написано друг другу.
You wish, we wish,
Mit gegenseitigem Respekt.
Почтение.
with, it is written here, with respect to each other.
Как я рад тебя видеть.
Mit Achtung vor dem anderen sozusagen. Wow, ich freue mich, dich zu sehen.
With
Такая
respect
Das ist so eine Ehre, dich wiederzusehen.
in front of the other,
Серьезно,
saying, wow, I'm so happy to see you. It is beautiful to see you again.
Wirklich eine Ehre, euch zu sehen.
No, seriously, I see you and it is an honor to see you.
что вот общине больше.
I'm enjoy.
Nicht, weil ihr diese ganzen Stühle besetzt und ich mich gut fühle, dass die Gemeinde voll ist.
Not because
Nein,
you all sit on these chairs and I'm happy because the congregation is full. No,
Ehre für uns, einander zu sehen.
it is an honor for us, for each other, to see each other.
Почему мне так грустно,
I see wonderful humans.
хотя могли бы быть здесь?
Und deswegen ist es so traurig für mich zu wissen, dass einige zu Hause sitzen bleiben und online zuschauen, statt hier zu
And for that reason, it is so sad for me to know that some just stay at home to watch online exclusively.
Nehmt uns nicht die Ehre, euch zu sehen.
Don't
Mir und die anderen
don't take this honor.
Ehre, euch zu sehen.
Don't take this honor from us to see you. Come here.
Der gegenseitige Respekt und Nachsicht.
Снисхождение это значит
Respect to each other and looking after each other.
Anderen höher an.
важнее.
It means that you value the other person more than yourself. The other person
И мира друг с другом.
is more valuable than you.
Und Frieden miteinander.
Forgiveness
Об этом
and
недавно
peace with each other.
говорили праздники.
Wir haben vor kurzem erst darüber gesprochen, als wir die Feste gefeiert haben.
Just recently, we have talked about it when we celebrated the feasts.
Schwer, ihr wisst das.
Без прощения
It is difficult.
Ohne die Vergebung gibt es keinen Frieden.
You know that without
прощения очень сложно.
forgiveness, there's no peace.
Schwer.
And forgiveness is difficult. It's heavy.
Um Vergebung zu bitten, ist meistens auf seinen eigenen Stolz zu treten.
To ask for forgiveness is most times
Vergeben ist
to
schwieriger.
Это определенный дар
to stand on your own pride
Gewisse Gabe des Herrn.
and
своей
for,
благодати.
to be able to forgive someone is actually a talent. And the Lord distributes that talent according to His grace.
Die Person kann behaupten, sie habe vergeben, aber dennoch ist etwas in ihrem Herzen geblieben.
The person may say, I have forgiven, but there may still be something inside that person's heart. And that something can destroy a lot
Eine Spur hinterlassen auf der Beziehung mit dem anderen.
and also leave a trace
Молитесь,
in that relationship with the other person.
Dass ihr vergeben.
Pray that you can forgive?
in einer Gemeinschaft, auch Gemeinschaft miteinander,
Would we not be in a relationship with each other?
как бы мы могли в этом расти?
wie hätten wir dann darin wachsen können?
How could we have
Назидание,
possibly grown
обучение,
in that?
улучшение и при необходимости обличения друг друга.
Gegenseitiges Aufbauen, Lehren, Trösten,
To build each other up?
Ermahnen.
Кто должен другому проповедовать?
Wer sollte dem anderen predigen?
To console each other?
Каждый.
Jeder.
How? Who could teach?
Nur ich spreche die Predigt.
Who could teach you when you would be alone?
Gegenseitiges.
Not just I when I stand here in front, but
Gegenseitig,
teaching each other
Другу рассказывать.
gegenseitiges Erzählen.
and
Иногда мне
talk to each other.
начинают что-то рассказывать.
Manchmal kommen Menschen zu mir und sie fangen an, etwas zu erzählen.
Sometimes people come to me and they start to talk,
Und sie fangen an, etwas zu lehren.
and they start to teach something.
Zu mir und fangen an, irgendwas zu
They personally come to me and share some teachings,
manchmal.
and that is annoying to me sometimes.
Но это Библия.
Aber das ist die Bibel.
Так, в принципе,
But
мы
that's
должны друг с другом поступать.
that's the Bible.
Wir auch miteinander umgehen.
That's how we are
Я
to
выполняю
be
иногда
with each other.
роль этого, знаете, китайский болванчик, немецкий.
Manchmal fühle ich mich wie eine Puppe,
Sometimes I feel like a puppet.
durch Knopfdruck einfach nur, die einfach da steht und bewegen muss. Aber dann, wenn man den Kopf
Sometimes I feel like a puppet on which you can press a button on the head and you can just, and that puppet just nods and nods. Yes, yes.
Потому что я знаю, что так Библия.
weil ich weiß, dass es so in der Bibel steht.
Но если я
Because I know it's written like that in the Bible, that we should be like that. But if I hear that this teaching is not correct, then my head starts nodding into the other way,
кстати, когда
and I start responding.
намного меньше, чем когда мне присылают имейл или письмо.
Übrigens, mich reizt es oder nervt es viel weniger, wenn man mich persönlich darauf anspricht, als wenn man dann später irgendwelche langen Nachrichten und E-Mails verschickt
By the way,
Письма даже.
oder Briefe.
I'm much less annoyed by when someone is
Или длинные имейлы.
confronting me personally instead of writing
Там я понимаю,
many
действует по Библии.
long emails,
Steht, der Mensch
long letters.
nach der Bibel.
When someone is confronting me personally, I understand that that person acts according to the Bible. There's one button. Delete to that message, to that email.
Hat die Person erfüllt.
Я просмотрел это быстро.
Ich habe das alles überflogen.
Но я получаю очень много таких.
The Bible,
Ich bekomme so viele solcher Nachrichten
И очень много таких имейлов.
und viele solcher E-Mails.
Хочешь поговорить?
I receive many like I receive many emails like that.
Aber nicht nur meine Aufgabe zu lehren.
If you want to speak with me, speak with me.
Unsere gemeinsame Aufgabe ist es, uns gegenseitig zu lehren.
It is our common
То, что я вам сейчас
task to teach each other. That is important. Everything I now shared from me personally,
Ich bin sicher, dass ich viel mehr Belehrung dabei bekomme, als ihr.
I am sure that I received much more
Поэтому я должен так реагировать.
corrections and teachings about that than you. For that reason, I must react like that.
Заботиться друг о друге, часто
Otherwise, I would not be able to.
уча друг друга.
Aber unsere gegenseitige gemeinsame Aufgabe ist es, uns gegenseitig umeinander zu kümmern, unter anderem, indem wir einander lehren.
Объясняя друг другу.
Our task in togetherness is to teach each other, to explain things to each other,
Oder uns gegenseitig ermahnen
in that we exhort each other,
oder Zeugnisse teilen,
or to share testimonies,
Рассказывая что-то из жизни, как пример.
indem wir Beispiele aus unserem Leben erzählen.
in that we
Вот это вот друг другу.
tell examples from our lives. This togetherness
Вот это вот
for each other, with each other.
Оно определяет общество.
Das bestimmt die Gemeinschaft.
Это то, что мы не можем сделать, когда мы
Is defining the community.
Was wir nicht tun können, wenn wir alleine sind.
It is something that we cannot do when we are alone.
Wir können das nur einander tun.
We can only do this to each other.
Wir brauchen einander.
We need each other.
друг друга,
Denn ohne dieses Miteinander,
Because without this each other,
в соответствии с дизайном Божьим.
können wir nicht entsprechend dem Design Gottes leben.
we cannot live according to the design of God.
Очень экстравертированный.
Der Herr hat die eine Person vielleicht sehr introvertiert und die andere sehr extrovertiert geschaffen.
Maybe the Lord has made that one person very introverted, that other person very extroverted,
In der Mitte zwischen diesen zwei.
and all the other people may be in a balance from those extremes.
Der Herr hat keine einzige Person geschaffen,
But the Lord didn't create any single person
damit diese Person alleine ist.
so that that person is alone, even though that person may be with the Lord.
Wurden nicht die ersten Menschen geschaffen,
That's how not the first humans were created. This is not how Israel was created.
und so wurde auch nicht die Gemeinde Jeschuas geschaffen.
And also, the body of Messiah has not been created like that.
Reich des Herrn sein.
Так не будет.
This is not how it will be in the kingdom of God,
Im neuen goldenen Jerusalem
and also not in the new golden Jerusalem.
Это то, что мы читаем
This is not how it will be.
Alles, was wir jetzt vorgelesen haben,
And all that we read
в нашей
today, right now,
wichtig in unserer Gemeinde,
оно важно в нашей
it is important
in unseren Familien,
for our congregation and our families.
взаимоотношениях.
es ist wichtig in unseren freundschaftlichen
Я
Beziehungen.
еще
It is important for our
Und ich werde nochmals diese Liste lesen.
relationship with friends. And I will again read this list. And if you will hear,
Für euch persönlich anzuwenden
try to
с нашей общиной.
in Bezug auf unsere Gemeinde,
try to apply it for you personally in relation to our congregation, in your family,
und mit eurem Leben.
and in your life.
Поощрение друг друга к любви и добрым делам.
Gegenseitige Ermutigung zur Liebe und zu guten Werken.
Молитва,
Building up each other to loving kindness and good deeds.
взаимопомощи и
Prayer for each other.
Gegenseitige Hilfe und gegenseitiges Dienen.
общение
Help in serving each other.
и единомыслие.
Gemeinschaft miteinander in brüderlicher Liebe und Eintracht.
Community in brotherly loving kindness and togetherness.
Друг с другом в почтении и снисхождении друг к другу.
In gegenseitiger Aufmerksamkeit, in Aufrichtigkeit und Offenheit.
In attention,
In Respekt und
in openness and respect,
Прощение друг
and looking after each other.
друг с другом.
gegenseitige Vergebung und Frieden miteinander.
Forgiveness
Назидание,
and
обучение,
peace with each
утешение
other.
при необходимости обличения друг друга.
Gegenseitiges Aufbauen, Lehren, Trösten und als notwendig ermahnen.
Building up each other, teaching,
Делать в нашей общине
console,
Kannst du es nicht in unserer Gemeinde tun?
and also exhort each other.
Dann sind wir eine andere.
You cannot do this
неплохо.
in this congregation,
Schlimm und es ist auch nicht
then seek another congregation.
Твоей семье
That is not
Familien tun.
that is not
Dann
bad.
сделай все возможное.
tue alles.
You cannot do it in your family, then try to do it as best as you can. Do everything in your might. Otherwise, you would need to seek a new family or a new community. But alone, you cannot do it.
Genauso wie Jeschua es nicht konnte.
Just like Yeshua couldn't do it
То, что мы читаем здесь,
alone.
Alles, was wir hier gelesen haben,
это Бог.
das ist Gott.
Everything that we have written here, this is God. This is Yeshua.
Das ist ein Beispiel des göttlichen Charakters.
It is an example of godly character.
Diese Weise sollten wir leben.
В обществе,
And in this way, we should live
в общине,
in community,
семье,
In der Familie.
inside the congregation, in the family, everywhere.
на этом закончим.
Damit beende ich das.
And with this, I'm ending.